and I had this sort of incorporeal image of the character. And as soon as I saw you playing that role, you became Horatio Hornblower to me, and then also I think it demonstrates your skill as an actor, going from the historic fiction to Mr. Fantastic. Because again, there are legions of fans around the world who see you as that, and you will always be that character. Nobody else can play Mr. Fantastic now, because that's you, and you really, I mean, they're so different in the characters they represent, but you know, the challenge that you had. Could you tell us a little bit about how you made those characters you, or you know, how you came to own sort of artistically?
I think Horatio Hornblower, I was 22 or 23 when I first came across him, and the character in the novel that we were trying to represent at the time is him as a 17-year-old boy coming into the Navy, and you know how hard that was. It's funny. There's two things that happen. There's the emotional connection that you have as an actor, and then there's literally the physical connection that we were given really for free, because we were in the costume on board a ship in very inclement weather in the Ukraine, on the Black Sea, raining and cold and wet and miserable, and we went sailing every day to shoot the show. So there was no real acting required. You know, I was a guy a long way from home, a long way from my girlfriend at the time, seemingly endless trip to get to this place in Yalta in the Ukraine, on board a ship, miserable, tired. So it was all encompassing, really. It was my first big break as a leading man in front of the camera. So all those nuances of the character, his nervousness, his anxiety, were really my own nervousness and anxiety of stepping into this enormous role that people have loved, you know.
So in the spirit of Origins, you weren't role-playing, you were living the experience.
Yeah, I was living, yeah. No, literally was.
From any of your roles, have you taken something that you were exposed to and just found it enjoyable? Like, say, well, obviously sailing might not be one of them with all these trips on the Black Sea, but is there something from any of your roles that you just really enjoyed and have made it part of you, like a hobby or an interest that you've pursued?
You know what? No, it's amazing. The skills that I've learned because of acting, horse riding, for example. I've done quite a few jobs where I've needed to be able to ride proficiently enough for the purposes of filming. And then King Arthur was a whole other level again. We had to do quite a lot of, I mean, you don't really get a gallop on camera as an actor. They usually have a stunt guy, but we did quite a lot of that on King Arthur and brandishing swords, and that was pretty fantastic. But I haven't really continued that skill after that. I did a movie called Sanctum a few years ago where I learned how to scuba dive and dive with these rebreathers, these specific sort of bit of kit that these guys wear to dive those great depths in these caves. But I haven't really done that since I did the movie, so it's I've been spoilt in the sense that I get introduced to these skills that are needed for the purposes of filming. But I haven't really done a movie where I've been introduced to something that I've kept going, you know.
So you just added to your Renaissance approach.
Yes, yeah, in the sense,
but you haven't found yet anything that just grabs you that you really want to.
I think if I did a movie about a race car driver, I think that might be the one that tips the balance that I'd love to do. Although my wife would never let me, I'm sure.
Well, tell her.